I be crossing my T's. I be keeping it low. Big G-O-D.
That's interesting. Colorist to gospel artist. I've never seen that jump before. You know, because in my mind, I'm like, if I made music that was insulting dark-skinned women or like being colorist, I would think you would go from a colorist to like a botanist. Because at least when you're doing botany, you're working with plants. But colorist to gospel artists? You know what angered me more than seeing that Dani Leigh was making gospel music and has this song that I don't like? The fact that I saw Queen Naija in the comments saying that we should collaborate together. Because what's your song gonna be called? Light Skins for Jesus? We don't need that.
Sometimes it don't make no sense. Does it really have to? There is nothing I can say.
Hi, welcome to Mayowa's World. Hi y'all, welcome to Mayowa's World. My name is Mayowa, and on my platform I talk about colorism, featureism, texturism. Today we're gonna be talking about the colorist to gospel artist pipeline, because I didn't even know that existed, but I see that it has existed because of an artist called Dani Leigh. Before I continue, I always promote my Patreon. If you're new here and you want to get to know me more, you should join my Patreon. I do early releases, I do personal updates, and yes. So I don't know if y'all remember Yellowbone is What He Wants from the pandemic, from like 2020, but Dani Leigh is an artist who has a song, like she had like some popular songs. I can't really name them off the top of my head, but she had a collaboration with Chris Brown. And she had some music that people were enjoying. And I think at the height of her career, she started to date DaBaby. DaBaby at that time was a very popular rap artist, and he is somebody who has a baby mother. So DaBaby has a baby mother, and I think Dani Leigh, because she was dating DaBaby, she felt some type of way about the baby mother. So she wanted to go and release her most known track, known to date, called Yellowbone is What He Wants. So like, let's listen to that just to re-bring up the time. Mind you, keep in mind, the pandemic has just hit. People are struggling. We're locked in the house. We have nowhere to go. The recession is coming. And Dani Leigh said, you know what I need to do? 1 minute. Let me get in the studio right now and show y'all this song.
Yellowbone is what he wants, what he wants. Yellowbone is what he wants, what he wants, what he wants. Para Miguel se lo van, para Miguel por el pan.
It's the same track over and over. So I think she thought she did her big one with that. And the internet was eating her up. It was strange to put that towards a baby mother. Like, the whole thing was weird. Like, that was also a time that people were having a lot more conversations around colorism. So I just think it didn't land. Not to mention, Dani Leigh is not black. And I'm pretty sure she has said the N-word. I'm pretty sure she's not black. This is her mom. This is her dad. But because she wears a lace front and because she hangs out with black men, those two things usually just ends up making you black. I don't get why, but those two things usually end up making you have to be conventionally attractive to those people, hang out with black men, and then you just get a little lace front, get some nails, and do a little, and yeah, like suddenly you're black. So, you know, within that, I just think it's ironic because growing up, I would hear terms like yellowbone and redbone. And those are, you know, colorist constructs of descriptors for people who are either have like yellow, light skin and yellow, or kind of light skin and red. And people would often like, you know, men would talk about wanting a yellow bone in their songs, especially in the early 2000s. My God, every song was mentioning wanting a yellow bone. Like, that was a really hard time. So I feel like they thought we were still in that time, and she was like, let me be the embodiment of a yellow bone, even though she's not black. So she's a white bone, but who am I to judge? I'm judging. So yeah, that was some years ago. It was really bad because then DaBaby ends up turning it on its head and humiliating her.
In our business, trying to act like we haven't been together.
We haven't been together.
Okay, Jonathan. We haven't been together.
You don't know what's going on?
I don't know what's going on. Oh my God, this is so funny.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Oh my God, how you gonna
this
go
what
live
you dealing with?
in the room right now?
Yellow, what he want, what he want. Yellow. bonus, what do you want?
As she's pregnant, even though people told her, like, why would you have a baby with this man? Dragging her through, her going through a lot with that man, and she has a baby with him. And then a couple years ago, I think, or maybe last year or something like this, she got into a DUI situation where she nearly a young person. And that is something in itself that's very terrible. And now I'm scrolling online and I see, oh wow, she's making gospel music.
I be crossing my T's. I be keeping it low. Big G-O-D. He be calling my phone. I done find my line again. I be touching road. Be taking my vitamins. You can see this glow. Go.
That's interesting. Colorist to gospel artist. I've never seen that jump before. Because in my mind, I'm like, if I made music that was insulting dark-skinned women or like being colorist, I would think you would go from a colorist to like a botanist. Because at least when you're doing botany, you're working with plants, I could see colorist to architect because you're working with buildings. I could even see colorist to software engineer because you're working with softwares. But colorist to gospel artists? Yeah, it's not like, no. You know what angered me more than seeing that Dani Leigh was making gospel music and has this song that I don't like? The fact that I saw Queen Naija in the comments saying that we should collaborate together. Because what's your song gonna be called? Light Skins for Jesus? We don't need that. We also don't forget you too, Queen Naija. Like,
Not to be funny, but it seemed like always little black nappy-headed, I'm sorry y'all, but it seemed like always little nappy-headed girls would bully me. Like they'd be jealous or something. Like, what? Yes, they was when I was little.
I'm so confused. Yo, we were like, I don't know. I'm just like, yo, I don't practice Abrahamic beliefs. I don't believe that we should have to forgive somebody just because time has passed and they say that they've been forgiven. Like, I think that actually no, like depending on what you've done, how you did it, how you handled it. I feel like that's literally not okay. Like, I feel like it's a gimmick. And there were so many people that were saying, well, she's changed. She's changed. You don't believe she can change? No, I don't believe she can change. I don't believe, I feel like this is such a gimmick. And I feel like it's so obvious that this is something that people like to see. I think that there's also a conversation around how a lot of light-skinned women are really embraced and enjoyed in spiritual spaces and how like their rebrand can easily come. Similarly with like Black China and how Black China was literally selling skin bleaching products. And then she can just like church. Do you know what I mean? You could just pivot. And so I think Dani took a chapter out of that book and is doing that.
And nobody's saying that you can't convert to Christianity after or even be Christian while doing colorist things. My whole interest about it is who gets to showcase and whose rebranding is seen as organic. I remember when Lil Nas X made his Call Me By Your Name music video and how upset that had a lot of people who identified as Christian. And when he tried to rebrand and make another video that was talking about God, people were like, no, you haven't repented. So it's always interesting to me which kind of sins are considered to be forgivable and which kind of sins are seen as not forgivable offenses. People are way harder on LGBT communities when they identify as Christians than they are on people who are colorists and have made money and made a career out of literally making fun of dark-skinned women. Dani Leigh's Yellowbone song was in response to the baby's baby mother, who is a dark-skinned woman. She wanted her to feel like, I am chosen, I am the prize. And that is just seen as a okay offense to just kind of like do. Not to mention that with her DUI case, which was incredibly inhumane because someone was deeply injured and she knew and she kept driving. She then went on a year later to say that she doesn't understand why her career dipped the way that it did.
And then it's just like, boom, it stopped everything. Like, literally, like, no record label push. I was on hiatus. Like, it's just crazy that, like, that music didn't even get the opportunity. But it's just like, why? What was the reason?
And I think it's because in her mind, she really feels like Yellowbone is what he wants. Like, she's the prize. Like, why would they block her when she is the prize? And I think that level of entitlement, the kind of person who's comfortable to say the N-word even though they know they're not black, the kind of person who can make a song saying Yellowbone is what he wants and then literally have a brown-skinned child with a black man, all these things just shows a deep sense of entitlement to me, and the grift is very transparent.
Did you have like no idea of that before?
I didn't have no idea of it, but I don't think I wrote the song intentionally like to be like a praise of like light skins or anything. So it was just kind of like, I don't know. I just think I wasn't really thinking. It was very like ignorant.
You're not even black. You don't even go here. So no, and people are like, oh, so she can't rebrand. Like I said, she should be a botanist. Work with plants. Work with plants. Plants. You can't be colorist in a plant space. You know what I mean? You just seen the plants. Do I think that you should now be making music praising God? No. Maybe keep that in the draft. It didn't sound good. It had the same cadence as Yellowbone is what he wanted. It sounded the same. We remember. We made it to the ending. You like my makeup? Tell me what you like. I actually was really forcing myself to be more dramatic with my makeup, because even though I am expressive, I'm like, I feel like I could do more, like add more, like more color, more highlight, more shimmer, like, yes. So thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye.